Look down at the phone in your pocket, and you can pull up a highly detailed street view of almost any address on Earth. Our modern reality is a heavily mapped, brilliantly lit grid where nothing is truly hidden. But out in the ocean, a few dark spots remain. Deep in the Andaman Sea, there is a prominent exception to our mapped world. This is North Sentinel Island. It is a dense 72 square kilometer patch of jungle entirely ringed by treacherous coral reefs. The people who live here, the Sentinelese, have inhabited this exact spot for an estimated 60,000 years. While the rest of the planet discovered agriculture, built steel empires, and eventually launched satellites into orbit, their way of life remained completely insulated. They operate without currency, electricity, or digital communication. They do not know what year the rest of the world thinks it is. And they have a long, well-documented history of rejecting any attempts by outsiders to land on their shores. North Sentinel Island is an intentional time capsule, actively rejecting the entirety of modern human progress. In late 2004, a massive tsunami triggered by an undersea earthquake swept across the Indian Ocean. In the immediate aftermath, nations scrambled to assess the catastrophic damage and send relief to battered coastal communities. The Indian Coast Guard dispatched helicopters over the Andaman archipelago, specifically diverting to hover above North Sentinel Island to search for indigenous survivors along the shoreline. Instead of finding a devastated community pleading for aid, they found a lone warrior who ran out from the tree line onto the beach. He aimed his wooden bow straight up at the sky, preparing to fire an arrow directly into the rotors of their hovering machine. To the tribe, the rescue helicopter was an invader. But it raises a serious question. Why is their rejection of every single visitor so immediate, absolute, and violently lethal? Firing arrows at a rescue helicopter is a specific type of extreme hostility that defies typical border logic. There is a much deeper, biological reason for why they enforce this absolute barrier. For thousands of years, the rest of humanity has been constantly trading, migrating, and intermingling. Every time different populations crossed paths, they shared microbes. It was a brutal, centuries-long process of enduring plagues, but it eventually built a robust, shared global immune system. This map shows how those biological networks intersect across the globe. Because the Sentinelese stayed completely off this grid, they existed in a closed biological loop. They missed out entirely on the global pandemics that fortified the immune systems of the rest of the human species. Because they lack herd immunity, the islanders possess absolutely zero biological defense against modern microbial threats. Viruses and bacteria that we carry every day without noticing are totally alien and highly lethal to their bodies. For the Sentinelese, physically meeting modern humans guarantees a biological apocalypse. Extreme isolation is their only viable survival tool. The modern world itself is highly toxic to their continued existence. We saw the lethal reality of this dynamic play out in 2018. An American missionary named John Allen Chow paid local fishermen to illegally bypass Coast Guard patrols and drop him near the island. He paddled toward the shore in a kayak, holding a Bible, intent on converting the tribe. He was focused on their spiritual salvation, ignoring the immense biological danger he brought with him. If he had managed to make prolonged physical contact, a simple cough or the rhinovirus causing a common cold could have swept through the tribe in a matter of days, wiping out a civilization that had survived for 60 millennia. The Sentinelese fired arrows to stop his approach, and when he returned the next day, they killed him. Through a legal lens, this is a murder, but in the context of their extreme vulnerability, it functions as an act of absolute biological necessity. Their lethal response is an involuntary defense mechanism for their entire society. Those arrows flying toward the beach are literally the antibodies protecting the fragile living organism of their civilization. To manage this fragile reality, the Indian government established a massive, heavily enforced naval exclusion zone circling the entire island. It is a serious crime to sail within 5 nautical miles of the shore. The state actively intercepts poachers, curious tourists, and anyone else attempting to make contact, enforcing a strict policy of absolute separation. Military blockades are usually established to contain a threat and protect the broader population. this perimeter does the exact opposite. The Indian Coast Guard is explicitly tasked with keeping the lethal toxicity of our hyper-globalized, heavily populated world away from a deeply vulnerable group of people. We map the seafloor and track flights around the globe, yet this small patch of land remains untouchable. And given the fatal biology at play, the highest form of respect we can offer the Sentinelese is to leave them entirely alone.